Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. Now this is an M53 M55 and we're on the north spawn of Fisherman's Bay and it's being commanded by CuriousSpore. Now I can tell that this is actually an M53 and the reason is that's a 155mm gun and they were only used on the M53, and this particular M53 or the M53 was actually used by the US Marine Corps. And we know it's an M53 because the 155mm gun is long and thin, and the M55 carries a short, fat 8-inch howitzer. Now CuriousSpore is heading to the east side of the map, getting near to the water. Now the reason for that is that this isn't a place that most people on counter battery tend to look, and so it does actually help a lot. Plus of course she's got that rock in front of her which does provide a modicum of protection from any tank that's coming in this direction, and if there's a shell being fired at her she can also use it for protection directly from any enemy who's firing at her. She can hug the rock and that will give her a bit of concealment. Right, no targets coming into view yet, but she's... Oh, no, she has now. That's a T34-1, Chinese medium, tier 7. She's dialing in the aim. Rounds out. Oh, it was a direct hit! Went straight in. Right, now, I wonder if she thinks that there's an enemy Arty in that bush. That is one of the places that enemy Arty tend to go. Now she's got a reload speed of about 26.8 seconds, I think, which means that she will be firing very shortly. Now she hasn't fired yet. She wants to see if there's a tracer. Nope, there was no tracer, so she's going to go back to the T34-1. Dialing in and line him up and fully dialed. Rounds out. There should be a direct... Oh, it overshot. Now that's unfair RNG, I'm afraid. She did stun the T34-1, but she was dialed in perfectly on the target, aimed at it immediately, and the shell went long. And that shouldn't have happened. But that's RNG for you, I'm afraid. Favours Soviet tanks, but it doesn't favour American ones sometimes. Okay, now we've lost sight of the T34-2. So, there are some targets over here. There's a T32 there, but she's having to dial in again because she had to move the turret. That's the thing about the M53, it does have a turret. Now, she's fired a round in. Oh, right onto the engine bay. 218 hit points. It didn't start a fire, but it was a really good shot. It's the great thing about the 155 is it's got a very fast reload. If she was driving the M55 instead of the M53, she would be looking at considerably longer, possibly as much as 34 to 40 seconds for a reload. But here she can do it with 26.8. She does less damage, but she can fire more often. That's a trade-off that you have to decide when you're driving an Arty. Eventually you get to the point where you either go for the top guns and get great splash damage and huge radius, or you go for the smaller guns, the stock guns, and you get rate of fire. It depends on how accurate you are with your shots and what sort of targets you're after. Now, they're one tank behind at the moment, but the enemy tanks in town are taking a pummeling. And there's that T34-1 again. Oh, and that IS-2 has made it past the town centre, and unfortunately she's getting a lot of red line from those buildings, which means the shell would be coming in shallow and actually hit the building rather than the tank. Now, she can fire it long and get a splash, but no, she's going to choose to go for that Wizzy, or can she? Still a red line. Ah, she can hit this VK101P. Definitely can hit him. He's out in the open. Lining up a shot. Oh, she got some reticule bloom there. She's right at the edge of her field of fire. She might need to realign that when she fires next. And that one went long as well. Oh, she is realigning. That's good. She was having a quick look down the far end because there's nobody protecting the cap at that end. Right. Now she's almost reloaded. Looking for the enemy Arty. This is one of the places they might be. Edge of the map. On the left hand side, the west side. I've seen quite a few Arty players say that that's a better place to sight their Arty than the right hand side or the east side of the map behind the road. Going for the VK101, and that landed just to one side of him. Now there was 2 Arty rounds came in simultaneously. Now I suspect CuriousSpore was the one in front, not the one at the side, because that may have been from the SU-14-2 or the GW Panther. Either way, she can't hit the targets in the town at the moment. There's still too many obstructions. Now, can she hit that Batchat 12 ton? There he is. Yes, she can. And it would actually be quite a good shot if she did, because he's stuck there. He can't pull out without the T-29 or the SU-100 getting him. And this round's coming in. And that's a direct hit. That's a kill. 28 hit points. And she's got her first kill on the board. Now, that Wizzy 111 is getting too close to the town centre. She's realigned her field of fire when she did that as well, which means now she shouldn't get any reticule bloom while she's firing at things in the city. Almost ready to shoot. Rounds out. She was guessing that the tank was still there, and it would be a reasonable guess that that tank would still be there because there's a Tiger 1 and a T-28 at the other side of the town. So if that T-34-1 moved, he would be spotted. Okay, that T-29 is popping out every now and then to shoot after he's reloaded. Here he comes again. And this time CuriousSpore will be loaded herself. Rounds out. Direct hit. 264. Right on the money. But I just saw an RT round come in, and I suspect that was from one of her companions in the SU-14-2 or the GW. In fact, it was the SU-14-2, and he did get a kill on the T-34-1. And there's the VK101P, and he's backing away at the moment. He must be reloading. CuriousSpore's going to go for it. Not yet. She's going to wait until she can see him. She's got a 1.6 second flight time. Oh, good call not to fire because the 101 moved. But she splashed him for 55. And 2 more Arty rounds come in, so she's picked up some stun assist off that one. Now, that VK is probably going to keep backing, but he is actually fairly clever driver because he's actually putting some sideways movement in his movement backwards and forwards to avoid using the same ground again and again. Now, she's realigned her field of fire again, this time to try and get a shot at the Yag Tiger, who is now in the open. Now she will get a bit of bloom there because she is right at the edge of the reticule, but he's side on to her and he's trying to attack the T-29. Oh, he's taken out the T-29 and CuriousSpore's going to be loaded any second. Rounds out. Oh, it went long. Oh, that's bad RNG. And the SU-14-2, the school bus, needs to get out of there and she needs to realign her field of fire quickly. Still got the enemy Arty to deal with, but that Yag Tiger is going to be a real problem. School bus is getting out of there, but there's the Yag Tiger. Now he's trying to shoot at the SU-101, and again the shell goes long. It might be a good idea to start firing short, just in case the shell will go long and directly hit the target. Still no joy. Okay, SU-4, there he is. Okay, you can work out from the damage done exactly where the tank is. And there you can see damage was done to those walls. There he is. And unfortunately, he takes out the SU-14-2. But she gets a hit this time. 211 hit points, 5 critical hits. 5. She must have taken down some of his crew members. And the beauty is that she's got the 155mm howitzer, which means she will be able to keep pumping these shells out. He's using the trees, trying to conceal himself from the SU-100. He's stopped to fire. Rounds out. Direct hit again. 219 this time. She's having a good effect. Now we've lost sight of him temporarily. The SU-100 and the T-28 are splitting up a little, and that's useful because then they can come at him from different angles. But CuriousSpore's about to fire again, and this time, yes, she gets another hit. 215 hit points, 2 critical hits. Oh, but we lose the T-28 to the Jagdtiger. That just means now it's 3 versus 4. Now, we've lost sight of the Jagdtiger. Is CuriousSpore going to fire at the bush, supposing the Jagdtiger's still there? Well, I would. And she got a hit! A direct hit. Now, that probably took another 218 off the Jagdtiger's total, because she's rolling about that sort of figure between around about 220 every time she gets a shot in. Oh, he's only got 378 left. So she can probably get a kill shot, or at least disable him so that the SU-100 can get the kill. Can she get the next round in? And rounds out. Direct hit again, 282. It was a good roll, and she did track him and disable him. Will the SU-100 be able to take advantage? Probably not. But she's remembering where the Jagdtiger is with the T key. That's a good technique. You mark the ground, reminds you where the target was last seen. It also tells anybody else who's watching where you think that they are. Is she going to fire? I think she's going to hold fire now because she needs to see him. I think he may have moved into that bush. The SU-100 is going to have to find him. Now we've only got 2 minutes 55 seconds left on the clock. And there are still 3 enemy to kill. There's the Jagdtiger. She can line him up, she can kill him. Round up. Kill shot! 48 hit points, and that's an important kill. Oh! And, and one of her teammates just killed the Type 4 Heavy, just killed the Batchat 155-55. Now it's 2 versus 1. Lorraine 155-50 has been spotted. We know where he is, and he's moving now. Very weird that he didn't move straight away. But she got a kill shot! It was a blind kill shot at the end, and that wins the battle. Oh, and that brings her total to 3. Very well done. She worked out exactly where he was going. She fired the round in, and yes, it killed the target straight on. Okay, let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's the second class tanker for CuriousSpore in the M53, M55. She also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, crew incapacitations or module damage. And there we can see the targets that she struck. Now, team scores. Well, she got the second highest damage, 2,325 hit points. She was beaten by the Type 4 Heavy on her own team, and in fact actually the high caliber went to the Wizzy 111 Model 14 on the enemy team. He managed to get 4,644 hit points off 2 kills, so I presume that was most of the work he did in the city. But when it came to kills, she was second again on her own team with 3 kills. Again, the Type 4 Heavy and the Jagdtiger on the enemy team managed to get 4 kills as well. So they got the honours, joint honours. And when it came to base XP, well, she was third with 870 experience points. And she was beaten by the Type 4 Heavy, who had 1,044. CuriousSpore fired 20 rounds, got 11 direct hits, 11 penetration and 6 splash. She did damage of 2,325 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. She hit 8 of the enemy and killed 3 of them. She also did damage of stun assistance damage of 1,546 hit points of 14 stuns. She received 27,981 credits on a standard account, and after ammunition resupply of 22,400, she was left with 5,581. She received 870 experience points, and that was all she got because there was no multipliers. But I think actually there was one point actually here, is that last kill on the Lorraine 15550, and it ended the battle and killed, she got the kill. But if she hadn't got the kill, and if one of her other team members had actually got it, I think she probably would have ended up with a Confederate, because that would have meant that she had 6 tanks that she had hit, or more tanks that she'd hit. These 6 tanks that were not killed by herself. But I think actually that she generated more win 8 and more credits for herself by actually getting that last kill. So swings and roundabouts, you end up with a medal for hitting more of the enemy, or you actually miss out on a kill and get a lower credit score. I think it's the latter that you would really want in that case, because obviously you get more credits. So well done by CuriousSpore. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.